Hey guys, Patrick here, and welcome to another video from CertifiedTinter.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove some nasty old tint on the back window. Alright guys, we have a 2006 Kia Spectra, and we're going to go ahead and remove the back window. It is pretty old. I'm hoping that we're not going to have to scrape the window, but I am going to show you how I sweat a window to see if you can go ahead and pull it off without having to scrape the window. But usually you have about a 10-year shelf life, between 7 and 10 years, that you can go ahead and pull it off. And my rule of thumb always is that when I'm doing a removal, I don't ask how long the film has been on there, but I ask how old the car is. Because I'm assuming that however old the car is how old the film has been on there.
Step one, we're going to go ahead and just wipe off the back glass of any dirt and debris. Next, we're going to go ahead and wet down the back window. I'm going to start laying down the trash bag on the back window. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I like to make sure that the trash bag is as flat as possible, right against the glass. Now at this point, the dot matrix goes in about an inch or two from the edge of the glass, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim basically the frame of the glass way outside. So I'm actually an inch or two outside the edge of the dot matrix, and I do that on purpose so I have full coverage and overlapping. That way I don't have to get the trash bag exactly in place. If I'm off by a half an inch or so, then it's no problem because there's plenty of room. Alright, next step, we're going to go ahead and spray down the back window. I like to use 409 for this process. It's strong enough that it kind of helps break down the adhesive, and it's not so strong that it'll dye or affect the pillars or the interior like some other really strong stuff. I like to start by just laying it at the very top and overlapping the top edge by just about an inch or so. And then you just tuck the edges all the way around, and we're ready to send it outside.
Alright guys, now that I have cut the trash bag and I sprayed 409, you can use any type of degreaser, but I've always just used 409 and it works really well for me. Yeah, you could even use water. I've seen people use water. So once I've installed the plastic bag, trash bag inside, after I sprayed the inside, what we're going to do is, as you can see, I have the car out here, but the lighting is like really brutal. So I have the car outside right now, and the back is facing the sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that out there for about 20 to 30 minutes or so. The goal is that when you go and you touch the vehicle back, the back glass, you wanna have to like remove your hand. Like it's hot. You can kind of hold it there for a second or two, but it's too hot to stay on there. That's kind of like the ideal temperature where you want to be at. All right, it's been about 20 minutes, and the glass is definitely hot enough. I tried to crack a corner, but it is no dice. Yeah, film comes off in, there's two layers. There's one thick layer, and that usually is a clear layer, and then there's like a thinner layer that usually has the dye particles in it, or the colored portion of it, and that thinner one needs to go with the thick layer. And you know, like I said, when it's like 7 to 10 years old, that's where it's going to start to be too brittle. It's almost like a rubber band being left out in the sun. If you try to grab it and pull it apart, it's not pliable anymore. It just breaks and brittle. It just breaks on you. Same thing with window film, and that's what we got going on here. Let me see if I can show you here. There we go. So as you can see, here is the plastic portion, the thicker layer that I was telling you about. And you see these little marks right here. I did that with a tool to try to peel and catch a corner of the thinner dyed part of the film. It is not catching. It is just breaking apart on me. Therefore, this one is no dice. So, and this is just the trash bag, but this is what the film looks like. You peel it, and here's the plastic, and here's the dyed part here. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately now there's nothing else I can do but get the razor blade out and start scraping. All right, moving on from the trash bag removal method that we did. I did this. I'm on my second day now. The car that we had to scrape the back window on, we ended up getting a little bit busy, and I ended up just not shooting it. It wasn't really that much fun video anyways. It's really me, just a time lapse of me scraping the back window. 3 options are going to happen after you soak the back window. It's either going to come off clean, both layers are going to come off nice and clean and together. It's not going to come off at all, and you're going to have to scrape it. Or the third option, which I have here, is that it's going to leave a thick layer of adhesive. So scraping's easy. You just scrape and keep going. For those of you guys that don't know or haven't scraped before, I like to use this. I think they call this a Titan tool. It's just basically, it holds a 1-inch razor blade, and you go through as many as you can. What I like to do is if I have to scrape the back window, I like to soak it first, get it nice and hot, and then take off the liner and then start scraping. It makes it a lot easier to scrape the back window that way versus, you know, bringing it in the shop, letting it get cold, and then just start scraping it that way. Just my opinion. But do keep in mind, if you have to scrape it, you're gonna lose the defroster. So always have that conversation with the client prior to the work and prior to the removal, so that they are aware that that is a possibility. Always a possibility. No matter how old it is. I've seen cars with film a year old that that the film will take the defrosters off. So no matter what situation, if it's going to be a removal on the back window, you always let the client know that there's a possibility that the defrosters can be destroyed, and that's just part of the game. So to remove the adhesive, I'm using a product called Purple Power. I can get this at Walmart for, I think, $8 or $9 for this big jug. It's 2.5 gallons. Normally with vehicles this bad, that has the adhesive back here, or removals this bad, typically are older cars, usually 5 to 10 years old. So these degreasers and all-purpose solutions are pretty powerful. So like, you kind of don't want to leave it like on the sides or in the interior. You kind of want to just spray it on the glass itself and leave it, try to wipe things down, especially if it's a newer car, but that's usually not the case, especially with removals like this. So I'm going to take this Purple Power here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the back window and leave it for about 5 minutes, let it do its thing, and it's going to be able to break down the adhesive a lot easier, so you can just basically scrub it and clean it. So I'll show you that now. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes or so. Taking a look here. As you can see, usually it's like this like wavy texture. There you go. As you can see right here, this is what I'm talking about right here. I got a little bit up here. Must have not sprayed up here too well. But let's see here. Let's get situated back here. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's done pretty well. So what you're gonna do next is, I have a, this is called a Scrub It, and there's 2 variations of it. This one is the blue padded Scrub It, and it's a little bit more aggressive. I do like using these pads and this tool because there's so much surface area. Like normally, hold on. Look. This is what I normally use. This is what goes on to like that gray handle tool for scrubbing the back window. And look at the size difference. So plus this is okay, but this is much more aggressive. And so basically what I'll do is I'll just start at the top, start scrubbing, scrub, and pretty much start spraying, scrubbing and getting off all this adhesive off. It's pretty much already eaten up. A little bit on the top is still left over, and it's starting to get a little dry on me. I'll have to work on some areas, but for the most part it's good. If it doesn't eat it all up the first time around, like the first 5 minutes, then I'd probably spray it again. I'm going to spray up the top again and a little bit over here, do it again one more time, and that's pretty much it. Scrub, and then from there just get your water out and then do your normal cleaning process. And double check, you know, because it is a removal, make sure you go to the outside, you clean the back, the outside glass really well so that you can see all the dirt that might be on the inside, so you can clean it very well. That's why I don't particularly like to do removals, and that's why I charge a lot for removals, because I am very meticulous about it and it looks like brand new tint. So that's pretty much it. Clean that and then just tint it like normal. So that is it. All right, guys, we're all done with this R&R, the back window. I was able to go ahead and just shrink it like normal and install it. I wanted to show you what it looks like now. That is beautiful right there. Beautiful. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful and informative as always. Make sure to check out the library for your other videos as well. Don't forget the live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays to premiere the new uploads for the week. And that's it. Have a good one, guys.